when the crown's shine began fading. Imagine the world's brightest lights, dazzling gowns, a golden tiara placed atop someone's head, confetti flying, cameras flashing, iconic, right? Now imagine behind that sparkle, a quietly ticking clock, a building pressure, decisions made in shadows. That's what fans of beauty pageants are beginning to whisper about the Miss Universe organization. Suddenly, the pageant you thought you knew looks a little less magical. A major lawsuit has dropped, naming former leadership, painting a picture of broken promises, toxic culture, and a brand in crisis. So, what exactly is unfolding behind the scenes? And why does it matter, far beyond the glitz and the gowns? Let's unpack the story. Sparkle, prestige, and then trouble. The Miss Universe organization, MUO, long seen as one of the world's most prestigious beauty pageants, has built a brand around dreams, empowerment, and ultimate glamour. Contestants from across the globe compete for a crown that can change their lives forever. But prestige often hides cracks. In recent years, whispers of controversy began to surface: leadership disputes, franchise issues, and allegations of mismanagement. Many fans sensed that something wasn't right. The brand started feeling less flawless, more fragile. And then came the lawsuit, the turning point that pulled the curtain back on what might be one of the most turbulent chapters in the organization's history. What it says and why it matters. Filed in early October 2025, the lawsuit accuses the former Miss USA leadership of creating a toxic work environment and failing to fulfill promises made to title holders. It claims that financial obligations, such as a $100,000 salary for Miss USA and scholarship funds for Miss Teen USA, were never properly delivered. Beyond missed payments, the complaint also highlights reports of unprofessional treatment toward contestants, declining sponsorships, and an overall breakdown in brand trust. In simpler terms, what should have been an empowering experience for young women allegedly turned into an exhausting, underpaid, and mismanaged operation. Behind the glitter and the grit. At the center of the story are three key figures. Laylah Rose, the former CEO of Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, whose company is now facing the lawsuit. Noelia Voigt, Miss USA 2023, who shocked fans when she resigned from her title, citing emotional distress and a harmful work culture. And Jakrajuditip, the current Miss Universe organization CEO, whose team filed the suit against the previous leadership. Each person represents a different side of the same glittering coin: ambition, accountability, and fallout. The most powerful statement came from Voigt, who said her experience, once meant to empower, became detrimental to her mental and emotional health. Her resignation letter became a public wake-up call, and the lawsuit became proof that her words carried weight. How the drama started, from glamour to grievance. To understand how things spiraled, we need to rewind to 2023. Noelia Voigt had just been crowned Miss USA, a dream come true. But soon after, she began facing internal conflicts, strict image control, and what she described as an unsupportive environment. Meanwhile, state directors across the country started complaining about mismanagement and broken promises. Contestant numbers were dropping. Sponsors were pulling away. The brand's once glittering reputation was starting to dim. By 2024, behind closed doors, executives were scrambling. What began as a business partnership between MUO and its U.S. management team was unraveling, and the lawsuits we're seeing now are the fallout. What's fascinating is how quickly it all happened. Within months, the pageant world went from perfect smiles to public scandal. And this time, the damage control might not be enough. What's at stake, beyond the tiara? This isn't just about one pageant or a single missed paycheck. It's about trust, the kind that holds together a global empire built on women's empowerment. For contestants, this lawsuit calls into question whether the promises of fame, opportunity, and mentorship are truly being kept. For fans, it raises doubts about whether the organization they admire is still living up to its message of empowerment. More importantly, it's about reputation. A brand like Miss Universe doesn't just sell beauty, it sells credibility. And credibility is the hardest thing to repair once lost. Could this lawsuit be the first domino in a much larger fall? Or will it push MUO to finally make meaningful reforms? What happens next, change or collapse? Now that the lawsuit is public, everyone's watching what happens next. There are a few possible outcomes. Reform and restructuring. MUO could take this as a wake-up call, rebranding itself with stronger leadership and clearer contracts. More exposure. Former contestants and directors might step forward with their own stories, potentially leading to additional lawsuits. Franchise shakeup. Smaller state and national pageants might reconsider their partnerships, forcing MUO to rethink how it operates globally. Public confidence will be key. The organization will need to show transparency, not just with contestants, but with fans and sponsors. The next Miss Universe season could determine whether the brand survives this hit or fades into irrelevance. Behind the pageantry, the industry's growing pains. Pageantry has always walked a fine line between inspiration and exploitation. On stage, everything looks perfect. Offstage, stories of burnout, mistreatment, and financial struggles are surprisingly common. This lawsuit isn't just about Miss Universe, it's about an entire industry that may be overdue for change. For decades, pageants have marketed empowerment, but critics argue that the system often benefits organizers far more than contestants. The current generation of fans, especially Gen Z, demand more transparency and authenticity. They want pageants that truly celebrate individuality, not outdated beauty standards or corporate politics. The lawsuit, in a strange way, could be the push that forces the industry to evolve. Aha moments, the truth behind the glitter. Aha number 1, a tiara doesn't guarantee empowerment. Real empowerment starts with fairness, respect, and transparency. Aha number 2, even world-famous brands can crumble if they forget their core values. Aha number 3, the audience today is smarter, louder, and more connected than ever. Cover-ups and PR statements don't cut it anymore. Aha number 4, pageants are no longer just about beauty, they're about accountability, and the women demanding it. Each revelation feels like peeling back another layer of the glitter, and realizing that the real story isn't the crown, but the courage to speak up. What contestants and fans can learn. Whether you've competed, coached, or just watched from your living room, there's something to learn here. Read contracts carefully. Titles are exciting, but rights and responsibilities matter more than the crown. Ask questions. Transparency should never feel like a privilege, it should be a requirement. Support honesty. When contestants speak up about unfair treatment, amplify their voices, don't silence them. Every time a queen refuses to stay quiet, the industry becomes a little more transparent, and a little more real. The crown still glitters, but so does the truth. The Miss Universe organization has long been a symbol of beauty, ambition, and global unity. But now, its reputation faces one of its toughest tests. A major lawsuit has cracked the surface of that perfect image, revealing deep issues that money and makeup can't hide. This isn't the end of Miss Universe, but it is a wake-up call. A reminder that even the brightest crowns can lose their shine when truth comes to light. So, here's the big question. Can Miss Universe rise from this scandal stronger, fairer, and more authentic, or will this lawsuit mark the start of its decline? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the world is watching. What do you think? Should the Miss Universe organization rebuild from the inside out, or is it time for a complete reset? Drop your thoughts, share this story, and keep the conversation alive, because behind every crown, there's always a story worth hearing.